No. He doesn't see you. Waiting.
Waiting because they're black and white.
Is he talking to himself?
So
Spencer, you brought a friend to services. That's so nice. Did you bring a cookie?
We did. We made cookies before.
There you go.
We share them with you, but
I get it.
okay. Let's mute this until we're ready, Spencer.
All right. That should be ready. Hello, Flory. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Rabbi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Lou wrote a very good speech.
Oh, good.
Having a little problems with the sanctuary cam, but hopefully that'll work out.
What does your shirt say? I can't wait.
It says live free. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, you got to go the other way. Back.
Let me bring my camera up so I can see what I'm doing.
There you go. Oh, okay.
It is the it's a campaign of originally Pico's, now Faith in Actions, going on for a while, but it's actually the sponsor of this Black Lives Matter Sabbath.
Okay.
And when I was in Indianapolis a couple years ago, I was with an action for them, so I figured it was. And it's one of the few black T-shirts in my
wardrobe.
Yep.
Your repertoire.
I said to Ira if he wanted to borrow a black T-shirt because 3/4 of my wardrobe is
Yeah, if I was
black.
wearing Michelle's clothes, I'd have been quite set.
Yeah, so
So we're gonna see Ira wearing a dress?
oh, he found a black T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see. That was in Hollow. That was poured
yeah,
many
yeah.
years ago.
So Rabbi, I don't want to tempt you, but these are the cookies.
Yum.
They have
Tempting me.
peanut butter cups, chocolate chips, I think Snickers, and what else did we put in there?
So Michelle's got a new recipe we tried a couple months ago, which is with Heath Bar chips.
Oh,
So you get this nice toffee chocolate chip cookie. It's really yummy.
okay. Well, we put whatever candy we have in the house, we chop it up in my mother's chopping bowl and throw it in the batter.
There
So,
you go.
and it works. Yeah.
Is Jill joining you, Bruce?
She will be, yes.
Uh,
Go ahead, Spencer.
hello again, Natalie.
All right.
Hi,
thanks.
Miss Natalie.
Hi, Natalie. Hi, Lou.
Hi, how you guys doing? How's June?
Hi,
How are
Flori.
you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Paul
Yeah.
joining us too?
Paul?
You want us on mute?
No, not for now. Now you can talk to everybody. Look, your
Yeah.
daughter's here.
Hey,
Hi,
Mom.
Flori.
Hi, daughter.
Hi. Hi, Lou.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good.
We haven't gotten the rain yet, so.
Oh, boy.
Any
You guys, there was a lot of it.
Wait, Mo.
Miss Cantor Dorsey.
Here's
Want to say hi to Cantor Dorsey?
I
hi,
was thinking of renaming you Flori and Moxie.
Moxie too. I know, I should put his name on the box. Moxie's done a lot of Zooming today. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Flori.
How are you?
Is that Moxie?
That's Moxie.
Is that Moxie?
That's Moxie. Well, the oldest member of our household, and that's saying a lot.
Hi, June. Hi, Bruce. Oh, there's Natalie.
Hey,
And
Barbara.
Darcy. Hi.
Want to say hi to Barbara?
You're muted, Mom. Exceptionally, you're muted.
Okay. I
Nice.
went to get my wine.
Just say Shabbat Shalom to your grand dog. So
I like your thinking, Natalie.
That's my grand dog.
That was his cameo appearance.
Watch this so it doesn't spill.
Barbara, it's good to see your face.
It's good to always see your face,
And it
too.
always is, but we've been talking, but I haven't seen her.
I know.
Hi, Lou. And
Who's that cute little pussycat?
It's from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, it's the Cheshire Cat.
Yep.
Somewhere behind it is her grandson, Spencer.
Oh,
Let everybody see you. Oh. Okay.
Took off, he took off.
Hi on Zoom?
it's the nature of the Cheshire Cat to disappear.
That's true.
He's here.
well, Marge is coming.
Uh-oh, that'll mean some technical difficulties.
Oh, she's connecting.
Marge is a
Flori,
bit,
don't mess. The seniors in my congregation are actually the best at Zoom.
Oh, yeah. The senior in my family is amazing at Zoom. So, and she now texts.
Oh,
Well,
And
she was on
does face-
Facebook almost before I was.
Well, she just started texting in honor of her 97th birthday and FaceTime.
That's
So
amazing.
she's ramped up her electronic social life.
Oh, Barbara, I have an iPad. I can start bothering you.
You are something else now.
No flies on her.
All right, waiting on Marge.
Marge is hovering.
Come on, Marge, you can do it.
Very supportive congregation we have.
No, Marge is like beyond muted. She doesn't even have a microphone showing up.
Rabbi, thank you for this early service. I thought the discussion was very stimulating.
Yes, that was a good discussion. It's a good group.
What service was this last week?
Today,
No, we have a bonus. It's a great story. So some of our congregants who live an hour south said, can we please do something in the afternoon so we don't have to drive in the dark? I said, great, Saturday afternoon? And they said, no, Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So once a month on a Friday afternoon, we have a pre-Shabbat gathering. And then so they get together and we do it together. And then they go out for to lunch sometimes, or early dinner, sometimes at the diner.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up all shut in. And I said, so you can come to services now because you can do it from your house. And they said, no, Rabbi, we want to keep this special time. We really enjoy it.
Special, yeah.
Right. And so Marge picked. Marge thought she could either do this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. So Marge is here this evening. Your mother decided she was gonna go for the marathon and do both.
Doofer.
And if she joins us tomorrow morning for the bat mitzvah, she gets 3 services in one Shabbat.
No, it's the hat trick award for this weekend.
me.
Get points towards your bat mitzvah.
Oh,
Right.
we should check her out.
That ship has already sailed.
She's like already passed her second one because traditionally you can do your second bat mitzvah at 83.
Oh, really? And
Yeah, because after you're allotted 3-10, then you get your bonus 13 years.
he's just trying to tempt me.
Oh, come on, Natalie, you could do it.
She could zoom it in.
You can do that.
Right.
I'll send her the way.
Miriam, where's Miriam?
Oh, there she is.
Now, the battle in my house this evening is there's a national Nifty service that my wife has to be on. And my daughter decided she would be on this service. So we'll see where Esri ends up.
And your mother-in-law apparently is joining this one.
Yeah.
No.
Hi, Linda.
Linda, you're muted.
I think Michelle's planning on coming a little later.
Because that's the joy of Zoom. You can attend 2 services at once and nobody knows. It's like one of the things I really like about Zoom is you can chat with all of your friends and it doesn't disturb anyone else in the service.
Mm.
So all those conversations, people whisper, you go, shh, nobody's going to shush you now.
You don't think all the teenagers in every service are texting each other?
That's great.
Same thing in the live services.
I have no problem with that. As long as they're on.
Yeah.
Heck,
Hi, Ann and
Good too.
Steve.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Stephen.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Marcia.
Happy belated birthday, Natalie.
Thank you.
You know, we're a little late with that.
Just a bit.
So you fit in the week, right?
I was on a Zoom meeting the other night with 400 people from all over the world.
That's
Wow.
great.
Literally, New Zealand, Australia, all over.
You gotta sit on after you're done eating.
Esri's taking a physics class at UCLA. And they were going to do live lectures, but it turns out some of the people who signed up for the class are all over the world. So they're just doing asynchronous learning.
It's amazing what you can do.
Hi, Uncle Phil.
Hi, Robin.
Hello.
Robin. Hello, Robin.
Shalom. I'm going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
Do you do these on YouTube as well?
Yes.
So if you go to the temple website, you can just watch it on the YouTube channel and not be
I
part
like
of it.
watching it on YouTube.
We like seeing your face.
Everyone say Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
That's nice.
Hello, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
The only
shalom.
problem with YouTube is you can't say Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
Esri has obviously made his choice.
We missed you today at service.
Who's that, Linda? Who's next to you?
That's my member.
Daisy wants
Do you
to
have a
say hi to
mask?
Moxie.
Yes, he needs a mask.
What did you do?
I just clicked it.
Moxie is having his Shabbat snooze.
Or you just click it one?
Oh.
Hi, Drapkins.
Hi, June.
Hello, Ellen and Rob.
Hi, June. Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
Joel.
everyone.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
Fine.
Good to see you. Hi, Ira.
Hi.
This answers the
Hi,
every
Hi,
question.
Rob.
It's Esri.
June said hi to you.
Hi, June.
Hi, Rob.
Rabbi, I can't get in. What do I do?
We can hear you now, so that's good. I'm going to invite you to
Marge.
start your video.
Hi.
In a changing world.
There you are.
Hi,
Hi,
Marge.
Mary.
Hi, Marge.
Oh, I didn't get live.
Claire here.
Oh, there's Tolly.
Hi, Linda. There's Marge. There she is.
There's Tolly.
Hi, Marge.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Ann.
There we go.
Congratulations.
So where is Claire?
Congratulations, Aaron and Rob, Ellen and Rob, for your daughter Hannah.
Oh,
Thank
thank you. Thank you.
Oh, what is
Quite
what?
an achievement.
That's Dr. Diamond Low.
Oh, nice
Wow.
stuff.
Got her
That's tough.
PhD. Yeah.
And where is she, Ellen?
That's all tough.
So she's still in Cambridge, and she's going to go to Copenhagen for a postdoc.
Wow.
Oh,
What poor thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
jeez.
what's her field? It's in physics?
It's astrophysics. Astronomy. She got her PhD in astronomy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
She powered through. It wasn't easy at the end. It never is. It's
No,
such
it never is.
slog. I'm really.
Jill.
Is Claire here?
Holy cow, look who's here.
I don't think Claire.
I couldn't get
Jordan.
What's up, bud? My man.
Hello. How are you guys?
Good. I'm still getting used to that fro.
Yeah, me too.
Hi, Darcy. Hi, Darcy.
Hi, Marjorie. You're on mute.
Hey, Margie.
So that's it then, right? What can we do about the lighting?
Oh, Natalie.
Hi.
Marjorie, Tom, how are you?
Marjorie.
Hello, Margie. Tom is the other Marjorie.
Hi, Marge.
Hi, dear.
Marjorie.
How you doing, lady?
right by yourself.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how is everybody?
Hi, Barbara.
Gloria, it's good to see you too.
Oh,
Likewise, Marge.
I was supposed to send you an email, but we missed you.
Thank you.
The book group.
Hi, Nishama.
Hi, Nishama.
Hi, Nishama. Hi.
Nishama. Are you in Massachusetts still?
Yes, so good to see you all.
Hi, Nishama. So good to see you.
Drafton family, congratulations to you too on your daughter's graduation.
Thank you. Sorry, I keep muting it because our dogs were barking.
So good to see everybody.
Well, they saw Daisy, so they had to bark to say hello.
Rabbi, are you in the synagogue?
Yes,
Yep.
and I will prove
Yeah,
that
I recognize the windows.
our own Hakodesh cam going.
Oh, I don't have my Black Lives Matter t-shirt, but I have my Women's March t-shirt.
We'll give you partial credit for that.
Solidarity, allies.
Good.
Every good movement needs allies,
Right. Lots of them.
right? Always.
You guys look great. Good to see you.
Indeed. Everyone looks great.
Thank you.
Hi, Esri.
Darcy, I didn't say hi to you. You so quiet. Hi.
Good to see you.
Hey, Barbara.
Yeah.
Barbara, how did you get Not My Son on?
Yeah. Surprise.
Hi, Jordan.
Hello, how are you?
Marjorie, congratulations.
I'm here. Yeah.
So now it says Ellen Diamond and Ron. Oh.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So we were invited by let's see, I'll bring my shirt up. Live Free, which is a subsidiary organization of Faith in New Jersey, along with Faith in Action, of which Faith in New Jersey is also a subsidiary in which I'm on the board, to participate in what they're calling Black Lives Matter Sabbats over this weekend, to go from today through Sunday. The event seems geared a little bit more toward churches, but we thought we would participate as well. Before we start, we want to acknowledge that this is something that's a very sensitive subject. There are challenges to the Jewish community, to the movement for Black lives, issues that have been dealt with, I think, rather well by there's a wonderful Facebook posting by the executive director of our Greater Metro West Federation, Dov Ben Shimon, about if Black Lives Matter or the movement for Black Lives Matter is or is not anti-Semitic, what something that appeared once in a platform written by a subsidiary group years ago really means. I don't want to dwell on that. I just want to acknowledge that this is a challenge right now as we deal with this, and we hopefully deal with this very sensitively. We think about this as an issue that is really dealing with people's lives. And as we hope, the point here is to show respect for people, remember people, people across our community. Really, the question that we thought that we would look at today, the one that kind of motivated us, our Religious Practices Committee had a long conversation about what we wanted to do today. And we worked with a small group, Bruce Harris, the chair of our committee, and Lou Cook and the Cantor and I. We said really what we want to approach here is to remember that we as Jews are a mixed multitude. That's the metaphor that was used as we crossed out of Egypt. It wasn't just one group of families that all looked the same. It was a hugely different, diverse group of different peoples who would come to join the Jewish people in their journeys. And so if we think of Jews as what's called Ashkenormative, that most Jews are Ashkenazic and look a particular way, it's not really true. There are Jews all over the world, Jews of all sorts of different shapes, sizes, and colors. And remember, when we talk about things like Black Jewish dialogue, it's not an exterior thing, it is an interior thing as well. Now, what we want to remember is the words from Hillel. Hillel said, "What is hateful to you, do not do to another human being." And that doesn't just mean, if it doesn't bother me, I shouldn't worry about whether it bothers you. But really, if something bothers you, I should appreciate that. And I should step in and not bother you with it, or make sure you're not bothered by it. Remember that we're also commanded in the Torah not to stand idly by. And in fact, right after that, not to stand idly by where our neighbor bleeds, literally. And right after that, or right before that, we are told we must indeed reprove our neighbor. We can't just sit there silently if we see someone bleeding. We are required, we are commanded, it is a mitzvah to jump in and to speak and reproach people who we see are acting badly. So we are going to start off musically with a theme that hopefully will run through the service. And I'm going to mute everybody, and then the cantor will unmute herself. You're still muted, Cantor.
So I was. What I said was Shabbat Shalom. And though we no longer, but everyone else is on mute and we can't actually hear each other's voices unless we're physically in a room with someone else. I hope that you will sing. This is a song called We Rise by Botti Lavine. And here's how it starts. The words, there are not a lot of words for now, just we rise. We rise, 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 rise. So, very repetitive, try it with me. We rise. We rise, rise. One more time. Rise. End is a little different. Rise. The chorus is in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. That's the whole chorus. Let's try it together again. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, we rise. Rise, rise, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. One more time, we rise. 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 Rise.
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that cannot be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We continue now as we turn to lighting our Shabbat candles. If you have Shabbat candles at home, you are welcome to join us by lighting them. Let's see if I can bring it up on the screen. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Light is a difficult symbol. Sometimes we look at the light and we see the joy, the light that illuminates the faces of those whom we love. We know that one candle can light another, can banish the darkness. But all too often our people have seen in the past the light of the flames as something of terror, something we have tried to flee. Whether burned in a cross or burned in an oven, light is something that we hope to keep for the good and not for the evil. As we think about our Shabbat candles this evening, look deep into the light and think of the good light, the light of illumination, the light that warms, the light that brings us together. And now we'll continue with some more music for Shabbat.
We'll continue with Shalom Aleichem. Page 7 in the songbook.
1 second.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchoni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Welcome Shabbat. We imagine that angels come to speak to us to welcome Shabbat. We imagine that as they look in on our Shabbat celebrations, they see an ideal Shabbat. Sometimes we look outside ourselves and try to imagine what that ideal Shabbat would be. Who would be sitting around our Shabbat table? What would the conversation be? And so this service, let us imagine that we are sitting around that Shabbat table and having that conversation that we wish that we could have. We're going to go into the Baruch Hu next on page 146, but we're going to ease back into that with our Rise melody. You are welcome to rise, and I will bring up the ark.
We rise, 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 rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're here we rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us rise. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
We continue with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, לחיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, standing on the shores of the sea.
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la words are in the chat box. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu leshalom, Hashkivenu leshalom, v'ha'amidenu, v'ha'amidenu, shomrenu lechaim, ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha, hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, hashkivenu leshalom. When the choir sings this song, we sometimes talk about how the melody is very sweet. And sometimes we could lose the fact that these words are really powerful. And so as we sing the English one more time, I invite you to really feel these words. They're important ones. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Veshameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam beni uvein bnei Yisrael oti leolam leolam ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi shavat va'inafash.
Once again, we'll bring ourselves musically to rise as we head into our tefillah.
We rise, 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 rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, humbly hearted, rise, won't be divided. Rise, with spirit to guide us. Rise. Adonai, sifatai tivtachu fi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Michaye HaKol atah, Rav leHoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Michaye HaKol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha bagivurot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, michayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. We have a prayer in our prayer book that we read occasionally on various Shabbatot in this section of the service, the Kiddushat Hayom, perhaps no more appropriate than on this Shabbat. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction in a world of war and hatred. Wake us, Adonai, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryear. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh HaShabbat. As we continue on in our service, one of the prayers we come to is the Hoda'ah, a prayer to give thanks. And often when we give thanks, we do it somewhat from a place of privilege. We forget the things that we have that others do not have and others are not gifted with. We say thanks for things and we do not remember the best way to give thanks is to help provide those things to other people. I want to share now the story of William Bill Moore, which Ann Saltzman shared with me. She remembered this incident happening when she was in college. Bill Moore was a member of the Baltimore chapter of the Congress of Racial Equality. He was a former Marine. On April 20th of 1963, he decided that he would take a hand deliver a letter through President Kennedy down to the governor of Mississippi. And the letter was one that was in support of integration, that said all human beings are created equal. Although the president did not meet with him in Washington, he did gain prominence and travel and news coverage as he continued his walk, pushing a postal handcart to deliver this letter into the South. Until, unfortunately, on April 23rd, he was found by the side of US Highway 11 in Adela, Alabama, near Gadsden, with 2 bullets in his head. 2 more movement workers who seek to complete his march were also arrested in the process. Remember, at this time, we give thanks for what we have and give thanks for all of those who have suffered so that we can have what it is that we have, and think of all those who are still in need. Now we take a moment to sing a song of peace before our silent prayer.
He's buried right above Binghamton, above Harper.
Right across the road.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We see things in this world that sometimes we can talk about, sometimes we can describe, sometimes words are too difficult. We just have an ache in our hearts, a hope that we can make the world a better place. We take this moment of tefillat halev, of the prayer of our heart. We take this moment in silence to push ourselves, to go toward that world, to feel that pain in our hearts, to feel the pain of others, and use it as a spur to make the world a better place where all can live in peace. We take a moment now for silent prayer. First, a brief word about our Torah portion. We'll start with a blessing for Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Our portion this week is Parshat Pinchas. I think the challenge for me often of Parshat Pinchas, the portion honors Pinchas, the fourth son of Aaron, joining to be the next co-high priest with his brother Eleazar after the death of his older brothers. And the beginning portion praises him for actions which happened at the end of the previous portion, which in an abundance of zeal, he kills an Israelite and a non-Israelite whom he is sleeping with, stabs the two of them through the chest through the stomach with a spear, and averts a plague to the Israelites. I think as we think about violence, we think about police violence, violence in the sense of law and order. It gives us a chance to challenge, to see things anew. Things that we assume about what our Torah portion says are said completely differently when seen from different eyes. What about Cosby's family? What would she see in this circumstance? What did the neighbors, the other nations around, see when they saw this experience? And it's a reminder to us to constantly go back and reread our stories and see what may seem a simple story and what may seem to be zeal that is rewarded by God is something that is not so palatable to us and not necessarily something that we wish to let stand. I'm going to end my remarks there because after we do a Misha Berach for those in need of healing, especially important at this time of our COVID seclusion, we're going to have a word from a member of our committee, from Lou Cook. So now we're going to turn to our Misha Berach. We will sing Debbie Friedman's blessing for healing and then pause in the middle to remember those we wish to remember for healing. We remember for healing Dara Malitsky, Maru Honrado, Kathy Rhodes, Karen Kleinman, Jeffrey Margolis, Edith Jennings, Walter Chazen, Mary Janey, Ruth Shack, Simon Redfern, Barbara Robbins, Lily Margaret Wolf, Patrick Beatty, Shirley Goldstein, Sandra Kahn, and Marshall Nimitz. Are there any names that anyone would like to add?
I unmuted. Yeah. Hetty Brash.
Ariel, Carol, Viv, and Ellen.
Peter Mataliano.
And Fred Cole.
And Fred Cole.
Addison Gigliotti, Summer Curter, Richard Bindleglass, Mrs. Kovacs, and Lynn Klausner.
Deborah Zello and Nita Patel.
Sue
Gloria
Rosenoff.
and Glenda Furstenberg.
Sue
Mary
Rosenoff.
Metelsky.
Kazak, Vicky Kalinsky, Jay Halbin.
Audrey Ludwig Sneberg and Mike Snedberg.
And Mike Lopez, Bill Cresswell.
Eileen Leffler and Darlene Ritter.
Shama, did you want to add someone?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Now, we invite Lou Cook, member of the congregation, member of our Religious Practices Committee, to share some words with us this evening.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. It's impossible to explain hundreds of years of racism in 10 minutes, but I'll do the best I can to help you understand the urgency of this call. Now, Black people are brought to America for slavery. A war breaks out, someone wins, and some white guy says, "You're free." So Black people go to look for jobs because they're free, but no one wants to hire us. We go on a bus to see if we could go to the store or anything like that, but we're told where to sit. We go to a water fountain and there's a sign that says whites only. There's no school system for us because it was against the law for Blacks to read and write. Slowly but surely, we begin to build wealth. But as soon as we're able to stand on our own, white people burn us out. New laws were passed, and now we can buy a home. Unfortunately, the house we want is in a red line district, which means we don't get a loan. I could go on, but I think you get the idea. If you want, I strongly recommend that you watch a show on Netflix called The 13th. It covers the criminalization of African Americans. Now, ask yourself, what is a backhanded compliment to a Jewish person? For me, as a Black man, one compliment comes to mind. "You speak so well." I didn't expect that. Oh, I got another one. Check this one. "It must be cool to take a shower and not have to dry your hair. You see, my hair is Brillo. It's made out of steel wool. It's not human hair." Those are just a couple examples that come to mind, but I'm sure that as Jewish people, white Jewish people, you probably hear other things, but you could blend in. I can't. Being Black sometimes has its advantages. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Like at a job, a Black person may be assigned simple task work, busy work, because that's what we can handle. Give the tough assignments to our white counterparts because they can handle it. Now, the two workers, the Black and white persons, are equally able to handle the tough job, but the white worker gets to shine and grow. This gives the company a valid reason to promote. Being Black means I'm a threat to a store clerk even before I walk in. I look suspicious, and I'm probably going to steal something. Of course, why not? Chances are I can't afford anything anyway, so what am I doing in here? Now, I grew up in mostly a white town, and I recognized at an early age that I'm different from others. I was called the N-word long before I started kindergarten. One time when I was 9, my bicycle was stolen. So I went to the police station to report it. And lo and behold, there it was there. So I told the police officer, "Hey, that's my bike, that's my bike." The police officer didn't believe me. So I went home, I got my mom, I brought her there, and she explained that that's my bike. The officer didn't believe her either. But luckily for me, I had a white friend whose dad happened to be a police officer, and guess what? I got my bike. Now, you probably just noticed that I haven't brought up what it's like to be a black man dealing with a police officer. But to give you an idea, I have a short little story to tell you. A group of us teenagers, who were all black, decided to go to IHOP after lunch. I'm sorry, take that back. We decided to go to IHOP for lunch after church. After church. None of us were troublemakers, not even suspended from school. I think I got detention once in my life. Seriously. But for some reason, the police felt we looked suspicious, simply because we were walking in a mall parking lot. So they stopped us, they checked our pockets, they asked us what we were doing there, and finally they allowed us to leave once they checked us out. Now, please understand, this is a normal, and it wasn't the first or last time we went through this. A lot of people are concerned about defunding the police. Perhaps it should have been worded differently, but regardless of the wording, changes must be made for all our sake. I support trying something different, and I feel that those changes must be sincere. I can't speak for all black people, but I'm confident in saying most of us, and I mean most of us, support the police. It's the bad guys on the force that we're concerned about. I hear police pointing out that their job is tough and dangerous, and I get that. And they challenge civilians to do a better job if they're not doing a good job. My response to this, that is why you got the badge. A police officer is supposed to be special in so many ways. They have to de-escalate situations. They have to make last-minute decisions. Their job is an impossible occupation, but that's why you got the job. You are real-life superheroes, and you need to conduct yourselves as such. But as I said earlier, there are some bad people wearing the badge, and that needs to be addressed. This brings me to the dreaded word defund. I prefer reallocate. I support funding for new and dynamic community initiatives. And those initiatives need to be strongly monitored and transparent, so we know that the funds go where they are needed. I also believe that the police should have an important role in those initiatives. Police screening and training should be a part of those initiatives. Getting businesses, big and small, involved. Smart business leaders understand that more able-bodied citizens are good for the bottom line. We can achieve human harmony if we truly want it. Think of all those brains sitting in poverty and despair with no way out. That's such a waste of resources, it really is. And getting a beat down to make sure they feel defeated is an added salt to the wound. This country can be so much better if we work together. Our goal should be simple: make humanity better for all. Together, we can make miracles. I get chills thinking about us working together, striving for a better world. I want to see us work towards fairness, equality, opportunities, and human decency. Now, this is a call to action. Silence is loud and clear. Don't stay silent. Get in the fight. Help your fellow man. Don't sit on the sidelines. Educate yourselves about what's going on. Why are people angry? Why are people in despair? Find out. Make donations. Anything. If all lives matter, as some people have said, prove it. Thank you.
We rise, 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 rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise up from the wreckage, rise with tears and with courage, rise fighting for life, rise.
Thank you for those words, Lou. We continue in our prayer book with the Aleno, which is our prayer for hope, our prayer for the future. You may rise if you wish.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo samechelkenu kahem, vigor alinu kechol hamonam, Vanachnu kurim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
You may be seated.
Is there?
A day will dawn in the time to come, a day when God's name shall be won, all war and suffering shall be through, when that day comes by Yom HaHu, and on that day I will wipe all tears away, sorrow and pain shall all be gone, and my name it shall be won. Let justice and righteousness flow like a stream. The old and the young shall see visions and dreams, and what they dream shall yet come true when that day comes. Bayom hahu, and on that day I will wipe all tears away. Sorrow and pain shall all be gone, and my name it shall be one. Of the parents to children will turn, and children to parents, and all turn to you when that day comes by Yom HaHu, and on that day I will wipe all tears away. Sorrow and pain shall all be gone, and my name it shall be one.
And now we take a moment, as we do in every service, to remember those whose names we hold close to our hearts. Whether those we lift up because we remember their heroic actions, what they've meant in our lives, whether we just lift them up because we miss them. Remember those, as we come to a name of someone that you are here to remember, we ask that if you feel comfortable, please unmute yourself and share with us a word or two about them. Just a brief sentence so we can remember them with you, and then you can remain standing until we all join you to recite the Kaddish Yatom together. On this Shabbat, we remember in the period of Shloshim, Myrna Friedman, longtime member of Temple Shalom and mother of Suzanne Light. Richard Miller, friend of Bob Enda. Patricia Karuska Dankin, mother of Dan Dankin. And Rhoda Rosenblatt, longtime member of Temple Shalom. We also remember those whose yahrzeit occurs on this Shabbat. Rose Becker, Esther Babasi, Sadie Bloomberg, Jason Deutschmeister, Joshua Diamond.
Hi, Joshua Diamond was my brother. I was very moved suddenly. Thank you so much, Lou. And what you remind me of is that my brother was actually at the March on Washington, the Poor People's March, and saw Martin Luther King in 1963. It doesn't surprise me that he was there. He was a beautiful, scholarly man, theoretical physicist. He would have been very proud of his niece, Hannah. And that's one of the sorrows of my life, that he didn't get to live to see her flowering in science. I miss him every day. Thank you.
Alan Dubkin.
Alan Dubkin was my big brother. Alan never had children, but he adored his niece and nephews. And he used to come over when they were little and spend a lot of time with them. The only problem was he would make them wild. He would make them crazy and run around the house. And then when they were so crazy that he couldn't stand it anymore, he'd do his standard, go out the door and say, "See ya." They used to call him Funkle for fun uncle.
Mae Friedman. Alice Joy Gilbert. Harry Greenberg. Raphael Gorevich. Michael Haubin.
Michael Halban is my nephew. We miss him very much. He was really good with our children, Zach and Mitchell. He passed away about 20 years ago, and we really miss him. And we just we think about him. He was a really nice young man. It was a real loss to have him not be with us anymore. Thank you.
Samuel Hoffman. Dirk Hoffman. Rose Horowitz. Lee Jason. Howard Kittay. Meyer Lavore. Rabbi Sidney Nathanson was rabbi of this congregation for 25 years, from about 50 years ago to about 25 years ago. Irving Rosenberg. Herb Rosenthal. Charles Ross. Rose Schoenberger. Etta Seltzer. Samuel Shapiro. Minna Sharon. Seymour St. Leifer. M. Lester Stevens. Essie Weintraub. Are there any names that anyone would like to add?
You want to add?
Jay.
Hmm?
Jay Brash.
Yeah, but he was already, it's not his this year. Okay.
Lisa, you're on mute.
Carolyn Reedy. could say something.
Am I supposed to?
Yeah,
say
you're supposed to say
something
something.
Special friend for over 22 years. Very influential in my life. Lost her on May 12th, and deserves mentioning.
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Orlando Castile, Sandra Bland, Jordan Davis, Jonathan Farrell, all of those who died at the hands of violence. Also, we had all of those who have perished in this pandemic, all those who have no one to, all those in our hearts, and all those who have no one to say the Kaddish for them, as we rise as a congregation to recite the Kaddish Yatom. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah. Yalmad yivarach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayeh dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yamru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yamru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'yimeru Amen.
Source of peace and peace to those who mourn. And give us the strength to comfort those who are bereaved. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
You can be seated. Talked about a number of things in the service today, and Lou left us with a call for action. One of the things we wanted to tell you, some of the things that we're doing as a congregation. If you're looking to learn more to read, there's a wonderful series that the Jewish Federation, our Metro West Federation, put together about Black Lives Matter, about Jewish and Black relations, and you can find that on the Metro West website. There's a continuing conversation going on, so you look out for those. Ellen Wolf, who's a little bit busy this weekend for a moment, well, I'll tell you, is also going to be putting together a conversation series for us to have the conversation ourselves about what it means. So there'll be more information. We'll have 2 sessions in August, and then there'll be a few more sessions, a kind of series in September. In addition, we are putting together some house meetings to gather conversations together about justice actions that we want to do. If anyone has any suggestions for books that people should read, movies they should see, videos or watch, send them in to me. We'll put a resource on the Temple webpage for you to look at as well. Upcoming events. Tomorrow, Kate Wolf is celebrating her slightly delayed bat mitzvah. She is becoming bat mitzvah. She was originally scheduled for the end of May, but she will be leading our services tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. You can come back to the Temple webpage for information how to sign in there. And July is also a month with a fourth Friday in it. So we are responsible for meatloaf. So Barbara over there is in usually on Tuesdays. If you can bring in meatloaves on Tuesdays, or otherwise call the office or call Jill Harris to let us know when you can drop them off. The board will be meeting a little bit later in the month So we soon hope to have information to you about our ideas of where the high holidays and religious school and all of those things will be going on into the fall. All right, those are our announcements. And let us move on to our closing song.
I gave you all the words this time. We rise, humbly hearted, rise. We won't be divided, rise. With spirit to guide us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, all of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, up from the wreckage, rise. With tears and with courage, rise. Fighting for life, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, humbly hearted, rise. Won't be divided, rise. With spirit to guide us, rise.
One thing I forgot to mention, one of the calls for us on this Black Lives Sabbath is to reach out to our elected officials, especially to our mayors. If locally we reach out. For those of you in Scotch Plains and Fanwood, know your mayors are listening. They are part of our Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Committee that has been holding a listening campaign. The next listening campaign will actually be about community and police. That will be on July 23rd. You can find information on either town's website. But feel free to reach out to your mayors and say this is an issue that you care about. We also rise at this moment to ask for God's blessing. We rise not just because we are asking for something, but we rise as a commitment to do something better. We rise in response to the call that we have heard, the call of our brother's blood rising up from the ground, the call that we have heard from Lou this evening, the call that our tradition says to us that we cannot stand idly by, that we must speak out, that we must reproach our neighbors. For the strength to rise, for the strength to do good, for the vision to be able to join with others in this work, we ask for your blessing.
May
God bless you and keep you.
May
the light of God shine for you and be gracious to you.
Isa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God turn God's face to you and give us all the blessing of a whole society living in equality and peace.
Amen.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You can unmute yourselves and wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.